All right, yo, it's your boy Vega Bomber live. Just moments out of walking out of the theater. I've just seen Black Panther movie I've been waiting for since the 90s when I first heard that Wesley Snipes and was working with Columbia Pictures to get the rights for this movie. Where do I start, fam? Where do I start? Well, I'll just give it basically a synopsis first, and then I'll tell you what I liked and then perhaps didn't like, and then what my overall thoughts are, and then tell you whether you should go see it or not. So the movie is the story of T'Challa coming home, according to the movie, just a week since the events of what happened in Civil War. And of course, coming back home, there's the grief of a beloved father that, now the nation is trying to figure out, what do we do? Who's the next king? Next king has to be the heir, which is T'Challa. And now T'Challa has to fill in some big shoes. And of course, not everybody agrees that he should be the king. And then there's someone who definitely doesn't agree. And that would be your boy Michael B. Jordan playing Killmonger. Now, this film also has Claw. So Claw and Killmonger get together and help each other out in terms of stealing vibranium and all that good stuff, which you already know from the Age of Avenger. What is it? The Age of Ultron, the Age of Avengers. You could tell it's late. But at any rate, that's pretty much your story. It stays mostly in Wakanda. About 95% of it is in Wakanda, and only 5% of it is in South Korea, I believe. And so the story there goes. It's all about the kingship. It's all about Wakanda. It's all about this young man taking up the mantle after a big father figure who had big shoes, who also has made some mistakes. And so that's something I'm going to save for the spoiler. So the father made some mistakes, and almost kind of like Star Wars in a sense, here's the son that gets a chance to make up for the father's mistakes. So you want to know more about that? Watch the spoiler edition. But for right now, let me tell you what I liked about it. The performances were great. I would say that Chadwick Boseman really convinced me that he was African. I believed his accent. I believed everything that he did in the movie. It seemed logical. It was written really, really well, right? So there wasn't anything in the movie I don't think that didn't belong there. I think that Michael B. Jordan did well. I think Letitia Wright, who plays his sister Shuri, she did well. I mean, there's just, performances are not the problem here. All the performances in this movie are great, stand out. And again, I'm going to see this movie a couple more times to see some of the things that I missed, but performances were top notch. I would say the visual setting, the costuming, just the panning shots, the over the shoulder shots when you have people having dialogue, all of it was good. I mean, there really wasn't anything there that made you kind of go, wow, there's a fly in the ointment or something like that, or a turd in the punch bowl. I didn't pick up any sense that something was kind of afoot that was awry or that was wrong. It was good. So the performances, again, I thought the story was really good. It makes sense for what we understood in Civil War. And then, of course, how Claw would be involved after what we saw in Age of Ultron. So story was good. Music soundtrack, of course, it's good. And that's pretty much it. I mean, this is a movie that, for all these years of waiting, I finally got to see it. And I was excited, but I'll save that for the overall. Now, there are a couple of things. Well, there's only two things in the movie that I maybe really wasn't a really big fan of. At some point, the pacing went off. I understood the scene, what they were doing and how they were developing, but it seemed like it was a little slow in some areas. I didn't look at my watch, but there were a couple of times I thought about it, but not because the movie's boring or anything like that. It was just, I felt like, okay, I know what you're going for in this scene, and that's probably just me. I knew what you're going for in the scene. I just wanted them to get to it and do it because I wanted to see some more of the setup for some of the other plots that were going on that I could sense were going to happen in this film. And then I guess the only other critique I had was that the final fight scene, I just felt like it was a little too CGI-ish. And so I was a little disappointed. I really wanted to see the fight scenes like what was in Civil War. We really got to see Black Panther's style of fighting. And here, the whole time, I wasn't fooled. I was like, okay, that's just CGI, two CGI guys going at each other. So I would have to say that's probably my only critiques. Just I didn't buy the CGI fight scene there at the end between Killmonger and Black Panther. It just looked too cartoonish to me in terms of its design and its quality. And of course the pacing. That's it. So what are my overall impressions about the movie, and should you go see it? Well, my overall impression is that this is great. This is a good Black Panther movie. I still wish I had a little bit more, but it was great. It didn't suck at all. It wasn't bad. I won't have to force myself to watch it again. There was just a few things, and maybe it's just my own expectation, that I really wanted to see and didn't quite see it. But again, that didn't detract from it. This is a movie I will see again, and when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm definitely buying it. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to drive back home and then crash out. And these are just my first initial thoughts. I may change all of this by the time I do the spoiler version, but for right now, this is a win. This movie's blowing up. It's good. It's worth every penny, and you don't have to see it at the matinee. Go see it full price because it's worth it. Anyway, it's your boy Vega Bomber, and I am out. Wakanda forever!